Good morning, folks, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, whatever the case may be. Good morning, Peaches. I just kind of woke my kitty cat up. Oops, didn't mean to, but it happened. Okay, so, today is December 20th, Friday. It is currently 22 degrees Celsius in my place, so it's not too bad. Might also be because I got the lights on right here. It's on my lamp. So I am going to start with the birthday horoscope, and then show you how far I am on my cross stitch. So December 20th, I am covering part of my book right here because I have someone's birthday, someone's name in my book on this page for tomorrow's birthday. So today, December 20th, you are honest, trustworthy, constant, and patient. You are methodical and accurate in your work, punctual in your appointments, and fastidious in your duties. You are domestic, but enjoy many outside interests. You are very affectionate, but not demonstrative. That's interesting. Yeah, so if today, December 20th, is your birthday, then happy birthday. If not, well, that's okay too. Okay, so I actually got a fair chunk of my tree done yesterday and today. I did my first video of working on it. And, yeah, I got a fair bit done since then. I worked on it for like an hour, something like that, this morning. But yeah, I've got more done over here. I've been doing the yellow here, which is this shade of pink. And I got over here all of this stuff done, and I've got a bunch of green going on here and and spot of green there, and now it's working on it over here. So yeah, I actually went through a fair bit of thread this morning while listening and watching the news. Yeah. So, okay. And I also worked on a nice sized section on here this morning too while watching the news. Because my news starts, he starts at 3:30 my time. And he just finished a couple of minutes ago. So like maybe a minute and a half after before I got on, started my recording. So I changed my pen tips around a bit. One of the tips that I had on here was originally from this pen, so I actually put it back on. This pen, it's called an ergonomic pen. You hold it like this. See, it's got the groove here for this finger, and then it's got a groove here and a groove here, so you hold it like this. It's great for doing in this regard, in this angle, because it's a lot less movements for your wrist. And I know you can get some from Amazon that have like a straight tip that goes straight. I prefer the curved tip. Because it's easier and less strain on my wrist because of my arthritis. And I shouldn't have carpal tunnel in this hand anymore because I had surgery done for carpal tunnel. And I still have a little bit of the scar barely visible here from that. And then I also changed up this pen. I put this is an angled 3-placer. I'm going, there's no putty in it yet, but I'm going to be using this. I am going to be multi-placing with the canvas, the one canvas that I'm going to be working on for my live stream, because it looks from the picture of the picture on the box, it looks like it is very, very black dominant, a lot of black, and it's a fair size picture, fair size canvas. So I'm going to be using this a lot. I also have another three-placer, angled three-placer, because yeah, this is an angled, slightly angled three-placer, plastic. But I also have another one. I got this really cool case yesterday from the thrift store, local thrift store. I paid too much for it. I know I paid too much for it because, like, I got one from a dollar store a few years ago. I can't remember what I did with it, but it's got these cases that you can actually remove, but the one that I got like this a few years ago, one of these cases, it's attached at the top and it's attached at the bottom. It was broken, like the attachments at the top were broken, so it wouldn't stay on. But I've started putting stuff into it. I got it, but yeah. So anyways, I've got this three-placer. It's also angled, so it goes like this. I'm just waiting for, I've got a package that was supposed to arrive yesterday. I don't know if it was actually delivered or not, because my mailing address is not my physical address. Yeah. So for any stalkers out there, you go to that address, and I don't actually live there. I just received my mail there. And if you show up with ill intentions, well, there is someone there who is more than willing to protect his property. Yeah. So, in more ways than one. Yeah. Big dog. Big scary dog. Anyways. Sorry for that little gruesome image there. But you can never be too careful these days. So yeah, I decided I'm gonna get on here as soon as my the live stream that I watched for my news was done. And yeah, he doesn't just do news. He does all kinds of hilarious stuff as well. He's been working on this one video. He's got a song that he created with the help of AI, and he was inspired by a video that he shared like 2 or 3 days ago. 3 days ago, maybe even 4. Earlier this week, he shared it on the morning whiz and coffee, and well, because of copyright, he played the video, but he couldn't play the music that was included in the video, so he added his own song that he's already done, made a video, I don't know, and he's made a new, and he's added other little clips, and it's just like people dancing. Yeah, but it's really cool. It's a really cute video. And then with his music, his song, it's perfect. It's like the song was written for that video. Yeah, but it's really cute. Um, because of copyright, well, I can't share it myself. Well, I could, but I'd probably get in trouble for sharing it on here. But oh my goodness, you could always check it out. One of these days I'll figure out how to add links to other YouTube channels. Actually, I think I'm gonna make a playlist. I'm gonna share a playlist of the other YouTubers. Like I'll share a couple of clips from each YouTuber that I really like. Like some of what I think are like their best videos. Or just a couple other really good videos. And then you can just check out my playlist and yeah, you can check out those YouTube channels. And then you can see, yeah, it'll be a playlist of the YouTube channels that I watch. If you like them, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't like them, well, that's okay too. Each person has their own preferences, likes, and whatnot. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Yeah. That one cup of coffee was not quite enough. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make another cup of coffee because I don't have enough coffee for another cup. But that's okay, because as soon as I'm done my video and start uploading it, I'm going to be taking off. Well, I'll have to finish getting dressed. I'll have to get dressed and get ready to go, load up a tank of propane. Yeah, I got to keep the truck for the night. So this morning, I'm going to the town next door really early because my sweet man, he gets off work at 8:30. So we're meeting up for breakfast this morning. So in my eyes, that's a breakfast date. And then after breakfast, he's going back to his place to go to bed and sleep. Because he's got to go back to work tonight. Yeah, I know. I wish I could go back to his place with him and go to sleep too. Or at least tuck him in. But he lives at his dad's, and well, his dad's an old grump and don't want to give his dad a reason to bitch and complain, so yeah. Plus, I got a bunch of stuff that I gotta do today. Go get my get my propane tank filled. Still have to buy a canvas for the Christmas event. I got a Christmas hamper, so I'm pretty good for food right now, but I gotta get some stuff from the dollar store. I went to the thrift store yesterday because, well, my dad, he came back from the town next door and he picked me up, went back to his place. He hopped out of the truck. He's like, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Basically, it's like, okay. So I hopped in the truck and it's like, ooh, hey, I can go to 7-Eleven and get a pizza. So I did. Got myself a pizza for dinner. So I had a very, very, very early dinner. And that's because I actually go to bed at a much earlier time these days. It took me a week, but I finally managed to get back to the sleep schedule that excuse me, that I actually prefer. I'm in bed and asleep around 7 o'clock at night. I'm up anytime between 2 and 3 in the morning. Because my news, the live stream that I watch for my news in the morning starts at 3:30, so that gives me time to get up and make myself a cup of coffee, give the cat food and water, and I gave him the last of his wet food this morning. So another reason I gotta go shopping. But yeah, yesterday had the truck, so I went to 7-Eleven, and then it's like, well, it's still early enough. The thrift store is open, and I want to see if I can get a cross-stitch hoop. And maybe even a needle threader. Yeah, if a needle threader ever shows up there at a thrift store, they don't stick around for very long. They're like snatched up quite quickly. But this particular thrift store is the only one in this town that I live in. And it's run out of a church. And a few months back, I cannot remember how many months ago it was, but a few months ago, someone set fire to, or tried to start a fire to the building or to something just outside the building, or I don't know all the details. I just know there was a fire, and there's still fire damage that affected the part of the building where they had the thrift store. So they relocated the thrift store. I actually did not know this until I got there yesterday. And so I went in and sorry about the yawning, but you see what I mean by saying when I said I need more coffee. I will be doing that later. But yeah, so they have way less items. It's a very sparse thrift store now. Way less items. They relocated what they could. Yeah, so anyways, I do have some stuff to drop off at the thrift store, but the drop off is only while you can only drop stuff off while they're open. Yeah, so one of these days I'll get to it. In the meantime, the stuff just very, very, very slowly accumulates in a tote bin in the back of my van. And I say very, very, very slowly because I've already gotten rid of a lot of stuff. And so I don't have much. I left a lot of stuff behind when I moved here. When I left my toxic relationship that I was in for like 9 years, something like that. I don't know, for some reason my numbers aren't numbering for the length of time that he and I were together, because I was living with Pat in 2015. And I really thought that I was with my ex for like 9 years. Because calculating like all the different places that we lived, and it just, yeah, the math just doesn't seem to want to math. But anyways, whatever. Yes, I left stuff behind. There are things that I left behind that I really, really miss, and I really wish that I had been able to go back and get this stuff, but I didn't, so yeah, no use crying over spilled milk, right? I'm away from the toxic environment, the toxic people in that house. The more toxic people were already gone. The less toxic, the landlord and my ex, of course, they were still there. But anyways, they most likely have gotten rid of the stuff that I left behind, because it's been almost a full year now since I left there. Yeah. Yeah, I left there in like February, March, April, something like that. No, not February. Like March or April. Actually, yeah, it was March. Yes. Anyways, whatever. Not a big deal. What matters now is I'm in a much better place. In my own place that I own. I own this place because my dad gifted it to me. Yay! Although while I moved into my dad's place, and while I was living there, the money that I was giving him for rent, he was setting that aside to go as a down payment for this place, this fifth wheel. And then basically he just maxed out his credit card to finish paying to come up with the rest of the money for this. Yeah. So then, yeah, he bought this fifth wheel. Excuse me. Last day of May, first day of June, it was moved onto this spot, and it hasn't moved since. And yeah, I actually do enjoy living here. It's relatively quiet. I say relatively because there is a neighbor somewhere around here that periodically, once in a while, will play their music really, really loud. There is an auto shop across the highway, I live just feet from the highway. Well, several feet. Well, a few yards from the highway, but the highway is like right there. But yeah, I can see the auto shop from here, and once in a while they'll rev the motor of whatever vehicle they've been working on. I guess if it was like a motor issue or what have you. But yeah, they'll rev the motor, but that's like during the day, and thankfully it never bothers me when I'm trying to go to sleep. If I'm trying to go to sleep during the day, which I need to stop doing. Like, I gotta stop having a nap in the middle of the day, because that just throws my sleep schedule out the window. Yeah. But yeah. There is a house right next to me. And there is a mom and her son living there. And his cousin comes over all the time. And they actually came knocking on my door one day this summer, the kid and his cousin. And they were trying to sell stuff to make money. And I'm like, well, sorry, but I don't have cash. I don't normally have cash on me, although I do have a little bit of cash now. Very, very little, because I very, very seldom use cash. But after that, they'd periodically show up on my doorstep, chat for a couple of minutes, and then take off. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I just sit on my top step and chat with them for a couple of minutes, and then they would take off. And they've come over a couple of times with friends or another relative, like an older sibling or a cousin, another cousin. That pretty much stopped when school started back up in September. Yeah. Yeah, the kids, they're not that noisy. They are a little noisy at times. But kids are kids. They'll always be noisy. When they're having fun, they're gonna be noisy. What's nice about this spot right here is there is like a large open area here for vehicles, large vehicles, because, well, part of the property here, the part that I live in, is an actual campground. So we've got a big area for vehicles to be able to turn around and back campers, motorhomes, and what have you into the parking, into the camp spots. There's only 7 campsites, which works perfectly fine. And just this year they started doing year-round, so you can actually be here year-round and as well as long-term. When I moved here, there was already a camper, a travel trailer. A camper is, here in Canada, I don't know about other countries, but here in Canada, a camper is a small little home type deal that is mounted into the back of a pickup truck. And like they're this very, very, very small, very tiny little thing. Yeah. And then there's a travel trailer, which is a pull-behind trailer. It's much larger. Than a fifth wheel or a camper. And what I'm in is a fifth wheel, and a fifth wheel, a section of it, normally the bedroom, actually sits over top of the box, the back part of the truck, and is attached to the back of the truck in the box with a big it's like a lock. Yeah, but it can like swivel and stuff. Yeah. So less of the camper is of the fifth wheel is actually behind the vehicle, the truck. Yeah. So in a way it's shorter than a travel trailer, but not overall. And then you've got a motorhome or an RV, which is short for recreational vehicle. And that is where you can. It's like a travel trailer combined with a truck, and you can actually like you can be like sitting behind the wheel of the vehicle, of the motorhome, driving it. You can park it, and then you just turn, go past the two front seats, and you're in the home part. Yeah, I lived in one of those. Yeah, and you're probably like rolling your eyes going, I'm not an idiot, I know what that is, what those are. Sorry, I go off on a tangent, and you never know. Some people might not actually know what they are. Not calling you an idiot. You just might be really young and not have learned about them yet. I don't know. And I guess I should, if you haven't seen any of the videos where I apologize for my mouth, I will do that now. I don't always think before I speak. I might say something that might offend you. I don't mean to offend you. I don't mean to upset you with anything I might say. It's just, I'm a little bit of an artard. Too many head injuries. That's what I blame it on. And I can use that as an excuse, as a legit excuse, because, yeah, I know I don't think properly with certain things. I sometimes, if I'm not careful, my emotions will take over, and I'll get overwhelmed emotionally and say and even do stupid things, and I don't always think things through, and that, yes, it has caused issues in the past for me. I don't do it intentionally. I just don't always, it's like something doesn't always click quickly enough in my mind, especially when I'm talking a lot. A lot of the times things are going great. I loosen up when I first start talking. I'm like very quiet and reserved, but then the more comfortable I get with talking, the more excitable I can get, and before you know it, I say or do something that is just, it seemed fine in my head for some reason, but then when I say it or do it, usually say, most often it's something I say, and it's so, as soon as it's out of my mouth, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. Why did it sound okay in my head? It didn't sound like that in my head. And then it's like backtracking, apologizing, but of course the words are already out there and cannot actually be taken back. And then my depression just goes through the roof. Or over the roof. But no, that's my anxiety. My anxiety goes over the roof. Sorry. Yeah, and then I'll just suddenly blank and be panicking, and oh my god, did I say, did they take it the wrong way? And then I try to go into explanations. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. It came out wrong. Yeah, and like if I'm like with a group of people and I say something that was like really, really wrong, I've had people just, they're like, they plaster on the fake smile and they're like, yeah, no, everything's okay. And then they find an excuse to get away from me, and then they're gone and I never see them again. Then, yeah, they ghost me. Or if it's like, if I say something like online, and I get the same thing. They're like, oh no, it's okay, and after a couple of minutes, oh, I gotta go, and they come up with an excuse to go, or it could be a legit excuse, and they're not just saying it, but they take off, and then I never hear from them again. And so then my anxiety, my depression gets bad, and and then I start getting paranoid. Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And I try to be like, I'm actually pretty easy and laid back of a person. But yeah, if I start talking with someone and they suddenly and like things are going great, getting along great, lots of fun, joking around and talking about like anything and whatever, and all of a sudden I don't hear from them for like a couple of days, and then a couple of days turns into like a week. I start wondering, well, are they ghosting me? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? In the past, I would start like messaging them, are you okay? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And that has chased people away. Because then it's just, it's like, yeah, being pushy. Type stuff, and so I've learned not to be that way. Outwardly, I can still get that way. Inwardly, I just don't vocalize it, because my daughter is like that. I'll go weeks without hearing from her, and like I'll send her a message, and yeah, it could take her a week or 2 weeks before she actually reads my message, and or she might read it and then forget to and then she's like, okay, well, I'll message her back in a little bit, and then forget, and it could be weeks. And it's like, well, I know she'll eventually see the message, she'll eventually message me back, but like I might, if I don't hear from her, like I might message her. If I don't hear from her for like a week, then I might send her another message. If I don't hear from her again for another week, then I'll message her again. But I'm not like overwhelming her with messages like every 20 minutes. Are you okay? Let me know what's going on. I'm worried. Because I know if something bad happened to her, she would let me know, or her fiance would let me know, or somebody there would let me know. Yeah. And I know my dad gets that way with me. Because I live on my own, he worries. He's admitted that he always worries about me. Because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So I've gotten into the habit of messaging him in the morning. I'll send him a message on Facebook Messenger, and he's usually on on Facebook, playing games on his computer, because that's what he does first thing in the morning. He gets up, makes a pot of coffee, unless my bonus mom has already made a pot of coffee. She usually does. So yeah, he would get up in the morning, grab himself a cup of coffee, and then he'd sit down in front of his computer and he'd check his emails and go onto Facebook and play games on Facebook until like 8, between 8 and 9. My bonus mom, she takes the dog for a walk from 8 until 9. And that's when they start their day. Anything that needs to get done, they get it done. And they're busy all day, every day. And I mean busy. She is like 78, 79 years old, something like that. And she will get down on her hands and knees 2 to 3 days a week and scrub the floor. And there's no carpet in their place. No carpet. It's all hardwood floor and linoleum. And yeah, she'll scrub the floor from one end of their trailer to the other end 2 to 3 times a week, because they have a dog. If they didn't have the dog, then she'd probably only do it like once a week. Periodically, they'll actually dismantle and clean the dishwasher. They've got a chicken and a duck. So my dad goes out and he gets he collects the eggs from the 2 birds. I don't know if he still does, but I think he might. Yeah, he probably still does. They live on a farm. Well, they live on a piece of land of this farm, and this farm they have egg-laying chickens, and they've got cooking chickens. And so my dad would like 4 days, I think it's 4 days a week, he'd go down and collect eggs and bring them home, clean them, and put them into egg cartons. And then they used to have people would actually come to their place to buy eggs. Now there's a stand out by the road, and that's where the cartons of eggs will go into a cooler up on this stand. Unfortunately, there have been a few times when people have stolen eggs, and even stolen the money that people leave there for buying the eggs, because this town still has a pretty good honor system, but it's also a very touristy. A lot of tourists too, but it's such a nice, peaceful place. Most people don't even bother locking their doors. Like, I can go downtown to the grocery store or to the pharmacy. Those are the 2 places that I go. Well, the pharmacy is the one that I go to the most, and that's like once every couple of months. But yeah, I'll go there and to get my meds, and like, you could leave the window open, leave the door unlocked, leave the window wide open, and nobody touch your come back and nothing. It's still the same. Yeah. and can't do that in a big city. The town next door, there are certain places that you can actually do that too, but not very many places. Yeah, anywhere else, forget it. You gotta lock. Windows closed, doors locked, which is pretty sad. But yeah, in this town, like, my door is never locked. At first, yeah, I'd lock the door. I'd lock my door every time I left. Oh, excuse me. But now I don't even bother. But if I was going to be gone like overnight, then yeah, I'd probably lock my door. It's just, yeah, I don't lock my vehicle. I don't lock, like, my van is not locked. I don't have anything. I don't really have anything of value in the van. I think that, I think the only thing in my van, I think the only thing that would be worth stealing from my van, is the battery. And that is, yeah. The battery is not even connected. So, like, yeah, somebody could come along, they could climb into the van. They'd have to climb in through the passenger door, because the driver's side is like maybe like this far. Okay, it's a little bit further. It's close enough that the side mirror is almost touching the fence. That's how close the van is to the fence. And that's because you can't open the driver's side door from the outside. Because I never bothered getting around to fixing that. So yeah, you open up the passenger door, you climb in, you climb over to the driver's side, you pop the hood, and then you got to climb back over to the passenger seat to climb back out of the van, and then open up the hood, and then there's the battery. So then you got to struggle to get the battery out. And anybody that has had to put a battery in, take a battery out, put a battery in, knows it's a struggle. And yeah, so it's just how it is. So yeah, I'm not worried to try and steal anything. Although they could go and steal my empties, they could go and steal my recyclables, like my empty jars, tin cans. They're all clean, because I do wash them. Or they could steal what little bit I have in there for the thrift store. Oh, and then there's the tools. My dad did give me some tools, so I do have some tools. Mostly power tools, which I've never owned before. Yep. So, I guess I do have a little bit of valuable stuff in there. It's not worth much. It's not really worth stealing. But you never know these days. Considering that, yeah, you got people stealing eggs. Yeah. Oh, and sausages. That's right. Because, yeah, they get pigs in the spring. Piglets in the spring. And then in the fall, they'd butcher them. And, yeah. And they do all the work on the farm there with the pigs. Yeah, so the farm does have a garden as well, so, and they sell their vegetables at the farmer's market. So yeah, it's a nice little chunk of land, and a couple acres. I don't know how many acres. But it is a beautiful place. Very, very well maintained. Well, the farm itself, I don't know how well maintained it is. I don't go down to the big house very often. It's very rare that I do. But my parents' place is very well maintained, very well cared for. Because they're always on top of everything that might need to be done. Like this fall, they... oh, there's no more teas. No more teas, okay. Yeah, this fall they went and they redid the walls and ceilings they've got this shed, well, they've got this little shack, this little building, that's, it's like 2 parts, or used to be 3 parts, but there's there's a big room that's, actually kind of divided, but there's like a partial wall, yeah. So there's like a big ginormous doorway that leads into this other section. It's like a storage section. But that's my dad's workshop. And they have stuff that they store in there. And then there's a little room that actually has the breaker panel for the house, for their mobile home. And for the power for their place. It's also where they store their garbage cans. Yeah, so the ceiling was unfinished. It had like the insulation and the plastic covering the insulation, but then they had an issue with rats getting into the walls and up into the ceiling, and yeah, it was pretty bad. And this spring, I pointed it out to my dad. Yeah, you've got rats, and I've seen them, and so yeah, my dad actually has a pellet rifle specifically for shooting at rats, and also for chasing the wild ducks away. Because wild ducks can carry diseases, and he doesn't want the wild ducks infecting their duck and chicken. So he doesn't actually shoot the ducks, he shoots near the ducks. Although earlier this year he did accidentally shoot a wild duck, and he felt, oh, he was devastated when that happened. It just, it turned its head, and unfortunately got hit in the neck. Yeah, ended up with a broken neck and died. So yeah, my dad was really upset about doing that. Sorry, I'm chuckling a little bit because yeah, he gets choked up over accidentally shooting a duck, yet he had no qualms about asking a police officer if he could borrow his service pistol. And then having a visit with my ex-husband with said service pistol after he found out that my ex-husband had been arrested. But considering what my ex-husband did, can't really blame him. My dad was just that pissed. Yeah, my dad he's not really a fighter, but you piss him off enough, yeah, he'll deal with the situation. Like, you threaten his life, threaten the lives of his family members. He'll do what needs to be done. And he'll gladly do the time. He's admitted as much. And he told me about an incident with one guy from work once. This guy was a real arsehole. Yeah. Arsehole of a man. Threat, like, yeah, he was a bit of a big guy. Huge bully. But yeah, my dad was recently telling me about it, about this guy. And how this guy was, had threatened this, a buddy of my dad's that also worked at the with the railway. And the guy, my dad's friend, has 3 daughters. And this guy was, and a wife. At the time, they were married with 3 girls. 3 little girls. But yeah, this guy was like, not just threatening the dude, but also threatening harm to his wife and kids. And then the guy decided to pull an attitude towards my dad and started threatening him. And my dad, dead serious look on his face, he looked at the guy and basically told him, go ahead and try. You lay a finger on any of my family members and you're gonna regret it, and I don't mind going to jail. The guy is like, looked at my dad. Well, that's basically the gist of what my dad actually said. But yeah, the dude looked at my dad and said, you're effing crazy. and then said to another guy, pointed to my dad, and he's like, the guy's effing crazy. And the guy looked at my dad and said, yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, after that, the dude never harassed anybody else. Because my dad was so well known and was friends with so many people that he worked with, that, yeah, the dude didn't want to risk pissing my dad off. Yeah, stopped harassing my dad's one friend. Because, yeah, his friend, like, was a big guy, like, not overly tall, but quite rotund back then. The guy's apparently lost a lot of weight. Like, yeah, he retired from the railway, like my dad. And then him and his wife actually split up. They got a divorce, and then he moved away, and now the guy's been doing a lot of traveling, and he met a woman, and yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, and yeah, my dad told me, yeah, he's lost a lot of weight, and I used to babysit for this guy. I used to babysit his 3 daughters when they were little, and oh my goodness, the oldest one was such a brat. Oh my God. And back then, you could actually, it wasn't, back then, it was not against the law to lay hands on a child. Like, you could, yeah, back then it was not against the law to spank a child. I would, oh God, I'm not saying that I ever did that, because I never did. Never did. Never spanked someone else's child, never spanked my own. But there were times when I had to physically restrain the oldest to prevent her from beating one of her younger sisters into a bloody pulp. And I mean, literally. Because she was a big, hefty girl, just like her father. Built just like her father. And, yeah, when she would hit, oh my God, did it, yeah. It would be, yeah, it was pretty bad. I babysat for them for a few years, actually. Yeah. Not a big fan of babysitting other people's kids, though. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind babysitting. I love kids. I was not very comfortable with babysitting other people's kids. And especially interacting with the kids while the parents were still there. But that's just the way I was until I had my own kids, and then I was actually more comfortable being around other people's kids. Because having my own kids was quite a learning experience for how to deal with other kids. Oh my goodness. 2 colors left. 2 colors left. And there's just one of each. Oh my god, and I keep forgetting. I go to look and it's like, what letter am I looking for again? I look back. Oh, it's that letter. Oh, what letter is it again? 3 times. I did that. 3 times. Look over. Where is it? What letter is it? See how quickly and easily I can get distracted. Forget what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so oh, don't press down too hard, or the roller will pop apart. I am gonna see about getting. I'm gonna try and find a. I want to get a mini rolling pin. I don't know if you can get one that's like about this big. That'd be awesome. Get a little rolling pin that's like this big. Not the little tiny ones, but like about this big. I don't need like a full-size one. Although if I can't, we'll see. Oh, I saw a hair. Where did it go? Oh my goodness. Anyways, whatever. There it is. Nope. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So I'm done that section. Done that row. I've just got 1 row left. But, according to Canada Post, I actually have, my box should be here today. My big, ginormous box. All right. Expected delivery on December 20th, 2024. Yeah, they're still saying I owe duty and taxes. Only problem is I tried paying it online, and it wouldn't let me, so I have to stop at a post office to pay that. Okay, so it's gonna be a busy day for me, so I better get my butt in gear so I can get going, meet up with my my sweet man. It's weird to call him my boyfriend because I really don't know what our relationship status is, and I'm too afraid to. I guess I'm too nervous to ask. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna go and upload this video for you guys to enjoy, and see you in the next one.